Welcome to From the Correspondent on Signature TV. It's another day to look at our reports that make the headlines and, of course, discuss with our correspondents about their experiences on the field. Thank you for joining us. I am Emmanuel Tewasi, your host. And before we go into the reports, we have the less privileged children in Zamfara who benefited from the distribution package of the state's first lady. Then we'll also bring to you the Enugu State House of Assembly response to the complaints of residents on the proposed tenancy law in the state. We'll also look at the Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASEMA's prediction concerning potential loss of billions of dollars as a result of the tax reform bills. Nigeria's first professor of the capital market, Uche Nwaleke, says fiscal policies of the Tinubu administrations are yielding positive results. Then we'll bring to you the importance of sports activities highlighted by the director of Junior Secondary Schools FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Obeb Hajia Ramatu Nosa. And finally, the tragic trailer accident that occurred along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, which claimed a lot of lives. All this will come after this timeout, and corresponding continue after the break. You're welcome back to From the Correspondent on Signature TV. Let's dive right into what we have for you for today. Not fewer than 6,000 orphans and less privileged children in Zamfara State benefited from the Ramadan and Salah welfare package courtesy of the state government. The initiative was aimed to provide relief to the beneficiaries in the face of the current economic hardship. Let's take a look at the report.
The distribution of Ramadan and Salah welfare package to 6,000 orphans and less privileged children drawn from the 19th Emirate Councils of Zamfara State was to enable the beneficiaries observe the forthcoming Ramadan fast and Salah festivities with relative ease. The items provided through the state's Zakat collection, distribution and endowment board include 10 kilograms of rice, yards, wrappers, and a cash of 20,000 naira to each beneficiary.
A matsayinmu na marayu muna gode ma gwamna Lawan Dare.
Wannan gwamnatin gaskiya kam ba a cewa kun sai a ce Allah biya Allah ka daure a haka.
Wife of the state governor Hajiya Huriya Dauda Lawal, who performed the exercise for the Central Zone, said the present administration will continue to identify with the needy.
It is a significant step in ensuring that these essential Ramadan packages reach those who need them the most. Ramadan is a time of reflection, discipline, and most importantly, compassion. It is a month that teaches us patience, humility, and gratitude, reminding us that wealth and blessings are gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, entrusted to us to help and uplift those who are less fortunate. The initiative we are launching today is not just an act of charity, it is a fulfillment of one of Islam's greatest pillars, Zakah. Zakah is not merely about giving. It is about purifying our wealth, fostering unity, and ensuring that no member of our society is left behind. It is a means of strengthening community bonds and ensuring that even the most vulnerable among us can experience the blessings of Ramadan with dignity and joy. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that giving in charity does not decrease our wealth, but rather increases it and brings immense reward from Allah.
The chairman and executive secretary of the Zakat board appealed to Governor Dauda Lawal to extend the beneficiaries to 20,000 as the board inherited a list of 40,000 individuals. In a remarks, the chairman Zamfara State Council of Chief, represented by Emir of Gusau Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, commended the state government for the initiative while calling on well-meaning individuals to give out charity to the needy. From Brini Kabi, Excellence Benjamin, reporting for Signatures TV.
The Enugu State House of Assembly has taken significant steps towards protecting tenants' rights by introducing a bill to regulate agency and legal fees for tenancy agreement. This move is in response to the numerous complaints from residents about landlords exploiting tenants with excessive fees. Our correspondent Raymond Mbata says this development has sparked widespread reactions from residents of the state.
The Enugu State House of Assembly has introduced a bill to protect tenants from exploitation by landlords. The proposed law, sponsored by Honorable Oke Mba, the member representing Nkanu East State Constituency, aims to regulate agency and legal fees for tenancy agreements, capping them at 10% of the rents payable by the prospective tenant. Honorable Oke Mba buttressed the need for the bill to be passed into law.
The bill is a second amendment bill. Basically, the bill is a product of the desire of the masses of Enugu. They have so much complained and raised alarm over the arbitrary extortions by the agents, and oftentimes with the connivance of the landlords. So it calls for a very serious concern.
This move is in response to numerous complaints from residents about excessive fees charged by landlords. The bill also seeks to abolish caution fees, which are rarely refunded at the end of the tenancy. Additionally, it proposes to protect tenants from forced, irregular, and fraudulent evictions by establishing legally defined eviction timelines and notice periods. A legal practitioner, Uche Mwadwemesi, reviewed the bill and gave his opinion on the expectations of the bill in ameliorating the burden of tenants and curtailing the excesses of landlords and estate agents in Enugu State.
The main concern of the House of Assembly, or even the sponsor of the bill, was a situation where they will take care of the exorbitant charges which the people go through now from the agents. There are even situations where you might be trying to rent a house of maybe 100,000. Then you will be required to pay an agency fee of even equal the rent you are supposed to pay.
Peter Ezi, the coordinator of Concerned Citizens for Progressive Enugu State, pitched in his opinion as well.
When the government is not doing what they are supposed to do, agents will take advantage of it, because they want to make money. You get. Then the main reason why I said that the negligence of people's crime by the government is that, for a decade now, we have not had maybe government estate. You get, for a decade now, we have only like federal housing. That's the one at Noah's, close to Noah's side, and state government housing, the one at by here. Okay. You get. So for a decade now, we've not had any other government, federal or state government housing.
Residents of Enugu State support the passage of the bill as soon as possible.
Well, on that regard, it has been an alarming issue, a very big concern in Enugu State here. I'm very sure that every resident of Enugu, mostly the tenants, they are not finding it difficult with the rates at which agent operates in Enugu State here. It's so disheartening. If there's a way Enugu State government can come into play and try to curb it and see how they can rate those things, I think it will go a long way helping the tenants and the residents in Enugu State. Actually, I can attest to the fact that most of those landlords are not even the problem. The agent on their own, greed, they are the one causing all those high rate of inflations of house rentage and all of that. I think Enugu State now is even it should be among the highest house rentage now in the whole of Southeast.
By regulating these fees, the bill seeks to prevent exploitation and promote fairness in tenancy agreements. This is a welcome move for tenants in Enugu State, and its passage could set a positive precedent for other states to follow. I am Raymond Ken Mbata, reporting for Signature TV.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, has cautioned against potential loss of over $200 billion in foreign direct investments and loss of over 600,000 jobs if the proposed tax reform targeting free trade zones are implemented. The association voiced their concerns at the public hearing on the tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly.
The Nigeria Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, along with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the Arewa Consultative Forum, and the Oil Producing Trade Sector, OPTS, made submissions before the House Committee on Finance. While NASIMA acknowledged the necessity of the reforms, it warned against undermining business operations, describing the language of the bill as militarized, and cautioning about potential legal and economic consequences, particularly concerning Section 57 of the Nigerian Tax Bill. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria welcomed the proposed reduction in company income tax from 30% to 27%, highlighting its alignment with the Sections 187 and 189 of the Nigeria Tax Bill. The Arewa Consultative Forum emphasized the need for careful planning, effective communication, and strategic implementation of the tax reforms.
Have contributed, they have put their money down based on the law. You change the law on 1 week notice, that is unfair, and the people will end up in litigation. So I'm not issuing a threat, I'm just appealing that we should have more engagement with them. Let us have something that works for all of us.
One of our concerns could be found on second schedule of Section 60 of the Nigeria Tax Bills. Briefly, the provision of the tax bill on the free trade zone should be upheld as it offers clarity and aligns with the intent and letters of the enabling laws. We believe that it does not in any way jeopardize the incentives offered to the operators within the zone.
The issue of going to law, saying that derivation should be 60%, this should be this, it is not everything you put in a law. There are subsidiary legislation, guidelines. Don't go and put everything in a law. Leave it to guidelines. Nigerian National Revenue Service with National Fiscal Commission, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, that's their own job. They sit down, state government, local government, politically, they now determine how to share this revenue.
But responding to the concerns raised, the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee and the Federal Inland Revenue Service provided clarifications. Chairman of the Presidential Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, explained that while currency in circulation is about 4 trillion naira, the total money supply exceeds 100 trillion naira. His position was shared by the Zak Adedeji, Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue.
So the Atlantic that you made the example of, they don't need to export sand. They just need to stay within their zone and they'll be exempted. When they export, they'll be exempted. There is no law today, not the NEPSA Act, not the Oil and Gas Act, no other law that says when you bring it to the custom territory, you can sell without paying taxes.
By exporting your 10 naira cost goods to Ghana, to Togo, to anywhere, it's okay. But when you want to come and sell in Nigeria, you said I should fold my hand. You produce your own goods because you don't pay tax as 10 naira. You come to custom area, you sell it at 15 naira. The person in custom area that is paying us taxes that we are using to do the road, to provide the electricity, to do all those things.
The contentious provisions in the Nigeria Tax Bill propose the introduction of minimum tax rates and the removal of long-standing tax exemptions for businesses operating within free trade zones. Industry stakeholders, however, argue that this contradicts Nigerians' industrialization and investment goals.
Welcome back. You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV. We're headed for a short break, and when we return, the program continues. Stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. You're still watching From the Correspondent. Nigeria's first professor of the capital market, Uche Owaleke, says the fiscal policies of the present administration are registering an improvement in the government's revenue and reducing the debt service ratio. Professor Owaleke was speaking at the 50th inaugural lecture which he delivered at the National State University, Cafe.
The inaugural lecture, which was a herald for Professor Uche Owaleke, Nigeria's first professor of the capital market, drew finance world to the university. It was also an occasion to acknowledge the accomplishments of a man who has dedicated himself to both the academia and the industry.
He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, fellow of the Institute of Capital Market Registrars. I present to you Professor Uchenna Joseph Owaleke.
You talk about honesty, I will tell you, Uche deserves a roll of honor in the annals of our history. You are a pride to Igbo, you are a pride to Nigeria, you are a pride to National State University.
This is not going to be said by a vice orator. He is Uche, unique, committed, honest, and endowed.
True to the testimonials, Professor Uche Owaleke took on an issue which has set professionals against ordinary Nigerians, the fiscal and monetary policies of the Tinubu administration. He stated, against the complaints of the man in the street, that there have been remarkable improvements in government's revenues and reduction in the debt service ratio from 80% to less than 70%, which he attributed to positive outcome of the government's reforms. Professor Uche Owaleke also said that the new and contentious tax bills will go a long way to improve ease of doing business in Nigeria. In the circumstance of these positive outcomes, Professor Uche Owaleke still said that the Nigerian economy still needs access to long-term capital to accelerate economic growth. He was particular about funding the universities, which he said should drive access to entrepreneurial knowledge to unlock the wealth in the economy.
We should use the IPO approach. What's the IPO approach? I stands for incentives. We can use incentives to strengthen the capital market, to strengthen listing. We do not support the idea of increasing the VAT, because increasing VAT will, of course, compound the issue of inflation at this time. But we also support the idea that companies' income tax should come down. Because why I'm saying we support it is at the governor's forum meeting, we had the governor's forum, my committee had the governor's forum. The governor said they didn't want CIT to come down. They wanted the company's income tax rate to remain at 30%. But we have recommended that it should drop to 25% by 2030. Why did we do that? And that is because we wanted to make the business environment in Nigeria also competitive. Here we can say, let's reduce for companies that are quoted on the stock market. Or let us also grant them 1 year tax waiver. Once you are listed on the market, the first 1 year you don't pay tax.
The promises to tap into the expertise of Professor Uche Owaleke came in torrent. From the National Assembly to the Securities and Exchange Commission and other professional bodies, there were pledges of support and collaboration.
Professor Owaleke's contributions exemplifies the intellectual rigor required to enhance our capital market. His research, policies, and advocacies are instrumental in shaping this trajectory. We must join him in reflecting on our shared responsibilities to sustain and deepen the market and to strengthen collaboration between the government, the private sector players, and the academia.
The first professor of capital market in Nigeria, as well as the director of the Institute of Capital Market, Nasarawa State University. The Select Committee on Capital Market is very proud of you and will always partner with this university because of you. We are going to collaborate with this university in terms of stakeholders engagement of capital market development in Nigeria. I proudly congratulate him for this milestone event and know very well that this is just the beginning of better things to come. And as we all join in this progress of making the capital market a better place and making Nigeria indeed a better place with the activities of the capital market, providing solutions to Nigeria's infrastructural challenges and other issues that needs the capital market.
His contributions to both the banking conversation, whether it's insurance and other financial institutions, they have been very remarkable and very, very deep. And it attests to all of the accolades that everybody has extended to me today. So on this joyous occasion, I want to congratulate the university. You have a very erudite scholar, you have a very deep public analyst in terms of economic conversation, and I think that we all are very proud of Professor Owaleke.
Nasarawa State University, where Professor Uche Owaleke teaches and is the director of the Institute of Capital Market Studies, is Africa's first university in such critical area of study. The inaugural lecture with the theme Unlocking Wealth and Leveraging Entrepreneurial Knowledge Ecosystem, Understanding Capital Harnessing Essentials, attracted who is who in Nigeria's financial world, including the Vice President, Kashim Ibrahim, who himself was a banker, and who was represented by the Minister of Women Affairs, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, the Managing Director of United Bank for Africa, Oliver Alawuba, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Timi Agama, the Chairman, Senate Committee on the Capital Market, Osita Izunaso, stockbrokers, accountants, and many, many more finance professionals. In Kefi, Nasarawa State, I am Mwabueze Njoko.
I hope you're feeling the impact of these economic policies that are said to be yielding positive results. Sports and activities play a vital role in developing a balanced personality. The director of Junior Secondary School, FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Ubeb Haji Ramato Nosa, made this assertion at the 11th Annual Inter-House Sports Competition of the Junior Secondary School, Mbappe, Abuja.
It was a day of excitement, competition and celebration as Junior Secondary School Pape Abuja hosted its 11th Annual Inter-House Sports Competition on Thursday, 27th February 2025. Speaking at the event, the Director of Junior Secondary Schools, FCT, Universal Basic Education Board, Hajia Ramatu Nusa, said such competitions help students develop physical coordination, dexterity and movement skills. She emphasized that sports instill teamwork, perseverance and fair play, stressing the importance of nurturing these values from a young age.
Sports has helped us to unite Nigerians. We at the Universal Basic Education Board, just like she mentioned, we decided to develop the psychomotive domain by allowing our students to participate in the extracurricular activities so that we catch them young.
In her welcome address, the principal of the school, Mrs. Onugo Ngozian, highlighted the importance of sportsmanship, urging students to compete fairly and enjoy the experience.
As we proceed with the day's activities, let us remember that the true essence of sports lie in participation, effort, and sportsmanship. I urge all participants to give their best, respect the rules, and most importantly, enjoy the competition.
The event began with a rendition of the national anthem, followed by the symbolic torchlighting to officially declare the games open. The 5 competing houses, red, yellow, blue, purple, and green, set the stage with a colorful match pass. Spectators were then treated to an electrifying taekwondo display, showcasing precision and discipline. The competition intensified with trailing track and field events, including the 50 meters, 100 meters and 200 meters sprint, as well as the 4x100 meters relay. Additional excitement came from fun challenges like the fill in the basket competition and the much anticipated staff and parent race. The tug of war had the crowd on their feet cheering for their teams. As the event reached its climax, the chairman of the FCT Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Sule, announced the final results, sparking wild celebrations.
That is the top position. Put your hands together and present the second position to Yellow House. Congratulations, Yellow House. Of the chairman from the board, we present the first position to Blue House. Thank you, Blue House. Where are you?
The announcement of Blue House as the overall winner sent the venue into a frenzy of joy. Coordinators, teachers, and students erupted in celebration and expressing their excitement over the success of the event.
This is the best that I started this school in 2009 and I was the great prefect from then. Up to this minute, this is the best so far. I thank God for the inter-house sport that we win. So teacher told us that we are going to take class in this inter-house sport, but God did not allow us to take class in Jesus' name. It was not an easy one. It took a lot of our time, hard work, always there for the kids, making sure they do the right thing, because not an easy start anyway, but today it's actually paying off.
I felt so excited and happy because during the practice, I felt as if Yellow would not, but today I'm so happy because Yellow took second.
With where that we shine and we carry the first cup, that is the biggest cup, that is my happy. I feel so happy with this. Not me alone, all my houses.
Thank God for the director principal, Mrs. Anne. She has been up and doing, calling us on phone, even when we're at home, when we're in the classes, say, keep this in place. I'm having an event. And you can see the event is well organized and well carried.
With a blend of competition, culture, and school spirit, the JSS Papenta House Sports Competition was a resounding success, leaving lasting memories for all. In Abuja, I am Chimize Zadima for Signature TV.
A devastating trailer accident that occurred within the week close to the New Market flyover along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway has left 6 people dead. The accident, which happened in the early hours of the day, left 3 other people severely injured. Signature TV correspondent Chinemere Kegbunam, who visited the incident, reports.
Barely a month after the devastating tanker explosion at Ugwuonyama along the Enugu-Onitsha Express Road that claimed many lives, another tragic incident has occurred at Agwabo flyover. The latest mishap involved a trailer transporting vegetables and fruits from Jigawa State to Port Harcourt, which suffered a brake failure around 8 a.m. and claimed 6 lives. 3 other people were left with varying degrees of injury. Eyewitness accounts said the overloaded trailer carrying fruits and vegetables lost control and crashed into the pedestrians and spilling the goods on the road. The victim included a woman and 5 men, with 3 men injured in the crash. The Federal Road Safety Sector Commander Enugu, Franklin Agbakoba, confirmed the incident, which he blamed on a combination of factors, including driver error and mechanical failure.
From eyewitness accounts, it was over speeding and, of course, lost control. Maybe I said brake failure, and the resultant effect was rollover. Coincidentally, there was a lady standing by the roadside. The lady was crushed to death instantly. That's one death. 5 of the occupants, also died. Reason being that the trailer was conveying vegetables, fruits, and as well as passengers on top of the goods. There were 4 Muslims, whom, of course, the Muslim faithfuls came and took their corpses away. While the lady that died, I think her family members also came and took her corpse away. It was another unfortunate day, yeah. But as it occurs this way, it keeps, reminding us, look, the need for vehicle maintenance, and of course, driving with caution, because if a driver, left Jigawa, it means for him to be in Enugu that early morning, he must have been, running all through the night.
Agbakoba also disclosed the establishment of the Enugu State Task Force, a new initiative at ensuring safety along the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway.
So the task force will ensure road discipline. Yeah, we're going to, be doing more of motorized patrolling. However, we also have checkpoint at 2 locations. From that, the Cochin Junction, we have a checkpoint there. And of course, coming into Enugu, we also have a checkpoint there to checkmate those that may want to shunt intermittent. However, we are going to make sure we block all the illegal U-turn points.
The injured are currently receiving treatment at Enugu State University Teaching Hospital, Parkland, while police have begun investigation into the incident. The accident has sent shockwaves through the community, with many calling for improved road safety measures and more conscious efforts by drivers to exercise caution and adhere to traffic laws. In Enugu, Chinemere Kegbunam, Signature TV News.
Welcome back. You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV. This is where we bring to you stories behind the headlines and get to hear the experiences of our reporters, what they go through in sourcing and packaging of news stories that keep us informed and entertained. And With me in the studio today is one of our own, Chinemerem Ikegbunan, who has done a couple reports, like the one we just finished listening to. Chinemerem, you're welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure having you
Thank you once
on
again
the
for
show.
having me. Yeah, sure.
All right, so how does it feel being a journalist? Let's start from there.
Being a journalist, it feels somehow you feel so choked.
Okay.
Because it's all about work. You don't know when, you don't have your personal time, because you don't know when work will come and they tell you it's a breaking news, you need to be there, and you don't even have your personal time. So I feel being a journalist has been choking, stressful, and a bit fun.
Okay.
Why do I say a bit fun? I like that vibe, or that steez that comes with journalism, that you get to stop.
Is this steez? I like
that you get to stop anybody, including the governors, the president,
Okay.
to ask them questions. You get, it's the fun that comes with it. So as a journalist, you should know that you have right to some things, although some ill-mannered kind of persons want to trample on your rights. But if you know what you're doing as a journalist, you can walk in anywhere, have your story or your report, and come out, ask questions. And no, I've had incidents where I've gone to the riverine area till midnight. We were in the river, you know, just like we have the gallops.
Where was that?
That was in Warri.
Okay.
Warri North, to be precise, Obuhoro community. I went for a documentary coverage at that location, and I spent like 4-5 hours in the water. And you know, the funny thing was that I was using a yacht, but at some point I think one of the engines stopped working. So it took us more than what it was meant to take us to get to Sapele.
I can only imagine what would be going through your mind.
At some point I was like, I say you don't turn water picking, like that kind of vibe. But yes, journalism opens you to a whole lot. You get to travel, you get to meet people, like I said. But then again, just get ready to give up your time, because you don't have time for yourself. Wherever it calls, you go.
All right, so talking about being dedicated to the profession, most of the time you get called impromptu, mentally and physically. How do you prepare for your assignment? Just give us a typical illustration of what it means, because I understand that most of the times you just code and you have to move, and at times you might find yourself in the northern part of the country. So how do you balance this with personal
yes
life?
like I said, it's more like something you need to tell yourself. Yes, you're a journalist and you need to sacrifice your time, like I said. So when you're called, even in odd hours, yes, emotions will always come up, and you feel so angered. You feel like, why are they even calling me?
Why do I feel like you've been more of emotional than, I wouldn't want to say unprofessional?
Yes, I'm trying to work on myself anyway, because I've had 2 of my bosses say you're being too emotional in this work, and I don't know. But I think it's just when the whole thing gets to my head, because sometimes you even go home very late at night, and the work needs to be done. You need to file your report and all.
We're talking about meeting deadlines, filing reports. Well, has there been any peculiar incidents where you were on the line, let me say maybe your job or a story so dear to your establishment was almost not done, maybe because of one thing or the other?
Yes.
Just give us that experience.
On
Let's have
several occasions, I have gotten a threatening call from my boss. If I don't see you in the office, okay, in fact, if this story does not go for 12, I'm going to have you're going to receive a query. And he means it. So at that point, you're on a get-go, like you have to leave whatever you're doing to rush to the office. It will even amaze you that this reportorial, although yes, I understand, but you know, being a reporter, it has actually affected me both in my academics, because you can't draw Peter to people. When you're doing reports, you just report. You have to you can't merge it with a PhD program, which is also a very big program. So it has just been very challenging. And funny enough, I don't know, I'm just praying to God to help me out of that kind of circumstance. But yes, being a reporter has actually opened my eyes to a whole lot of things, had connected me to connections, and also has also taught me a lot. Yes, I've learned a lot through reporting, and I've also understood that there are news that comes that you just do not take it as it's coming. You need to be sure of the news that you're carrying and all that. So I learn every day in reportorial.
All right.
I learn every day.
There are a couple of reports you've done, like the incident that happened at Ugwanyama, where tanker explosion. Of course, some few weeks back, we saw the reports. You were there. Then I understand something else you did on pension, where you had to travel miles away to interview this. Can you just take us through the process of getting particularly that of pension, because it was an exclusive report you really put time to bring out? So just take us through the step, how you even got interested in the man in the first place. Just take us through the story.
I think that I got to learn something in reports. I got to learn that a story comes and you make a story exclusive if you want to. You take it from the way others are seeing it and give it your own, your own form and all. So yes, the pension thing was going on, rather the defunct of the bank. They had been, and this commercial central bank came and said that they were going to close the, that was the, I'm trying to get the bank now.
Fidelity?
Not Fidelity. Trying to get the bank now. It's just coming and going. I think that not Diamond. But I will tell you when I remember. So yes, and I went to the bank to get my report and all that, and lo and behold, I saw this aged man, looking very pale, dirty, smelling. Allow me to use the word. Yes, because he was smelling like, he was ill. So an aged man that pees on his clothes, nobody to take care of him. That was what I was perceiving. So I walked up to him and he was willing to talk. Because he was just sitting. I went upstairs, I met with their manager. And the way they were busy pushing people, like, if you have a problem, CBN will sort it, this one, that one. So I was like, what happens to this old man here? How will he, so I went to him and I asked him, sir, why are you here? The man started crying, like, a man that is in pains. So he was actually saying that it's his pension that he has come to collect, and here he is, and they are telling him that the bank is already closed, that he has nothing. He doesn't even have money to take him back to the village. I think Akabo Ugu, where he's from.
Which local government is that?
That should be Enugu East, or Enugu East. So I picked interest. Then I asked for his number. He didn't give me a number though. He said he does not have a number, or rather he doesn't have it offhand or something, and his phone was not with him. So I just collected his name, ran a little interview, and gave him a little cash because he complained he didn't have any. So after that report, it caught my boss's attention and the president of Signature TV, and he came down and said, was it just talking about the bank thing? Did you ask him all for that? Were you kind of in depth with your question, asking him where he lives, the children, things that shows a humanized angle, because he's always very, skeptical about doing a human angle report. So I said I was able to get the little I could, and he said, do you have the man's number? And I said no. I asked for it, but he didn't have it. So after a long run, he asked us to go back to the bank, that we must find the man. The way I located the man, it's God's grace.
Well, he was still at the bank at the point.
Yes, because yes, he kept on coming to to know how to get his little pension. He needed his pension and all that. So luckily for me, I found him again in the bank, and we had to drive to his home. Ran an interview. Spoke to his neighbors and the rest, and that was how I came up with pension stories. And then again, towards that week, I've been running pension stories. So combining the story, what I've already gotten from the man, with other aged persons I've spoken with that came for verification in the Enugu North local government, I was able to get something on pension. So I kind of made that pension story my exclusive. Then coming down to Ugonyama report. Yes, Ugonyama report happened. In fact, I got the news just like I said. There were breaking news you get. You need to confirm the news before you break it too. So yes, although I was not the first person that went to the location where it happened, but I had to follow up on the report because I wanted to know why there had always been reoccurring incidents of accidents in that particular location. So I went as far as going back to the location, talking to some persons, talking to the VIO director, talking to the road safety. Yes, I was also on a telephone conversation with the MTN people involved with the construction, just to get why the road is constructed that way and it's left like that for a period of time now. Then again, just recently, the report that you watched, the latest report on the flyover, still on the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. Yes, there you see that report happened a day before I came there to that location. Okay. But then, yes, like I said, it breaks as a breaking news, so you need to go to confirm. So when I received the news, I was asked to leave immediately to the scene of the incident. And when I got there, I was like, is this really a report? Because what I'm seeing is, rotting vegetables and all, and I'm asking, were there casualties? The outer men there were not even giving me any reasonable response. They were, some would say there wasn't any casualty, that just they are trail away for, that kind of thing. So I got more curious. So I was just fuming and all that. I said, at least let me have a report to get to the office with. So I was just fuming what I had. That was a little of what was available. Before someone said, we lost like 6 of our brothers. So I said, 6 of your brothers? He said, yes. I said, I thought you said there were no casualties. They said, no, that they lost 6. I said, we had dinner. I said, they don't bury her now. I said, okay. That was what attracted me to call the FRSC sector commander. Okay. And he said, yes, that their team was on ground. He actually confirmed? Yes, he confirmed. He said their team was on ground that particular time it happened and all that. And I said, okay, I'm coming to your office to have that discussion. Okay. Well, if you want to, if I may want to allow you to speak, it sounds so interesting. Going there, putting in efforts and probably your life on the line just to make sure that people know what is happening within and around that environment. But in the process of doing this, I personally understand that there are some certain challenges, because you've had situations where journalists are even jailed, they're being accused of spying and all of those things, and there are some situations you find yourself in, and at times you wonder, is it not better I just give up? Is it not better I just call it quit, so that I maybe move on with my life, or just do something else instead in Nigeria? Give up and do what? You can be at crossroads. I don't know if you had that kind of similar experience, maybe on an assignment or something that you just want to share with us. Yes, definitely. Like I'm also a government house correspondent, so there are times when I started covering Enugu State Government House, because I had also covered Delta State Government House as their correspondent. So when I started covering Enugu State Government House, I was not familiar with the DSS guys, the security persons. And when they are not familiar with you, they try to give you that a little bit of the ginger and all that. They're mostly hostile. So Yes, so several times, you know, they will push you, they'll tell you, who are you, this, that. Well, you keep explaining and explaining. At some point, it got to my head. I said, what is it? I will come here, who are you? Signature TV, I'll come again, who are you? Signature TV. You know, they tire. So what do you mean? You that you're changing hair? You wear this hair and come today, you wear this hair and come today. We had a very serious issue that they said I wasn't going to even enter the house. I had to make some calls, and that was it. I've had cases where I was shooting even in the government house, and they, you know, they came and seized our camera and said we were not even meant to do such and all that. We started begging and all. And I've also gone for an event that you see that this event, you know, if you cover them with camera, you just need to use your phone. Okay. Because, you know, all this report, there are levels to it. When you see an investigative report, you just need to pile low and, you know, do the little you can with your phone. You must not necessarily show yourself as a journalist. Okay. Yes. So, you know, you work with sense. All just right. Like I said.
I think that's what I'm going to take from this whole conversation. In as much as you want to put information out there, you should also be careful in your approach to giving the much commitment to keeping the public informed. And it's been a wonderful session with Chinemeremi Kegwana, our correspondent, who just shared what it feels like to be a journalist, the challenges and overwhelming incidences that come with doing the job. And it has been Emmanuel Tewasi, your host, and until we come your way next week, stay informed and bye-bye for now.